Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading, and today I want to talk to you about the reality of Forex trading. It's not as deep as you might think. I'm out here today. It's middle of June of 2025. It's been rainy and cloudy and kind of chilly as we've moved through the early parts of June, which is pretty characteristic for the Lakes region of New Hampshire up on a mountain where I live. But today it's beautiful, and I thought, well, we'll come out and walk around in the yard a little bit and chat about the reality of Forex trading. When you are getting involved in trading, I think it's important for you to understand the things that you need to focus on as opposed to the things that other people are telling you to focus on. The first thing is, do you have a real interest in the Forex market? Do you understand what the purpose of the market is and you go, wow, that's a really cool market? Or are you just trading it because your broke friends told you that they had joined some group and they're all trading Forex and it's a great way to make money because our leader up here, Curious George, is driving around in a Lambo and so life is good. You have to really like the thing that you're doing. I mean, 85% of the people in the United States don't like their job, but they have to do their job because maybe they're good at it or demand is there for that, and you get trapped into that. You get making money so that you can support the lifestyle that you want to live. And the correct way to look at that, of course, is that you live really cheap so that you can afford to have the education, time to get the education, and then go into entry-level jobs at a job that you really enjoy, because that's the job that you're going to flourish in for the next 20 years. So it's just your mindset. And the reality of Forex trading is the same. If you don't really like it as a market, if you're not interested in it, why would you have any motivation to learn the sophisticated process of learning how to trade it? Well, you probably wouldn't. The reality of it is you will fail for that one reason. The caveat to becoming excited about trading is that it can't be based on what someone else did or does. It has to be based on your desire to learn that. And then you have to find somebody that you can trust to show you the ropes, whether that's a book, a course, or videos, or whatever you want to do. If you're 28 to 34 years of age, maybe you've gone to college, maybe not, but you've at least gone through high school. You know what the educational process is like. You don't learn trigonometry by reading a comic book and sitting in class for a day. You don't learn history. You don't learn medical technology. These are all skills that take time to learn. Not a lot of time, but time, because you're going out to be paid by somebody else. Now, the issue with having a job is that if the employer is paying you $30,000 a year, you have to be generating at least $60,000 to $80,000 a year in income for the business. Because out of the 30 that he's paying you is also coming your benefits and the fact that your ass is taking up a seat, or your internet connection is being paid by him, or whatever the hell the expenses are. You are giving up probably 150% of what's really being made by your efforts. You say, well, geez, I can't be a eye surgeon without a team and without working at the hospital and all that. Well, yeah, that's, but that comes with the job. But the training for that becomes more extensive, right? And you need a team, and you need to be affiliated with a large organization. Let me tell you, with trading, you don't need any of that. All you need is an interest in the Forex market or commodities or whatever you're doing. I only work with people who want to talk about Forex. I'm not interested in commodities. I'm not interested in stocks or crypto or any of that other stuff. I've done some of that stuff before. If you go to my website, longwoodcurrencytrading.com. On the currency trading page, there are 7 reasons that I give why I have chosen the Forex market to invest my time in. I spent 40 years investing in real estate, retired very well off. That's why I can sit here and show the house that I have on 2.7 acres that I paid cash for before I sold my other house. When you get it right, it works, but you have to know the rules of the game, and you have to be passionate about it. I happen to really love real estate. I wouldn't do real estate again on a bet because of certain conditions in the market and the economy that don't make sense right now. There are other things you can do to participate in that market if that's what you'd prefer to do, but not what I particularly did because it's uncertain right now. But in something like the Forex market, which at this time is like, I don't know, $6.7 trillion a day, it dwarfs all the other markets out there. There's so much opportunity in the currency market for someone that's attentive and willing to do the work, to learn, and to focus on their craft. You know, I have a fast track course. It runs 6 weeks. It's not for beginners. I only work with folks that have 6 months to a year of live trading, $1,000 at least, at reasonable leverage. I mean, I don't want some Yahoo in there at 500 to 1 and he's spouting off about how much money he's making, then he wants me to come in and try to teach him. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to work with you. Be serious about your interest in Forex and have a good solid knowledge of the general characteristics of the market with some experience, so that when you come in and you say, I'm having trouble with XYZ, the stuff that I tell you will make sense to you. And you don't have to buy a course. Because if I can point that out to you and you go, that's a key issue, I didn't think about that, or I didn't think that was as important as you're saying that it is. So go try that. You know, and if that works for you, then you probably want to come back and buy a course from me. But I'm not going to sell anybody a course. Folks buy something from me because they see the value in it. I'm not trying to convince you of any value. I can prove that to you if you send me an email. And the proof is in the fast track course, which follows the reality of life as we see it all around us. There are certain principles of living that are transition across all things. If I wanted to teach you how to drive a car, I'd say if you want to make a right-hand turn, you turn the wheel to the right. Is there any debate about that? No, there isn't. Is it simple? Yes. Is it easy? Yes. Then why is currency trading so complicated? Why is it so fragmented? Why is the education out there all over the place? Why do all these people talk about Fibonacci's and Bollinger Bands and fundamental analysis and all this other shit that's totally not applicable to learning how to trade the currency market? The Fast Track program in 6 weeks lays out the foundation of trading itself first. And then we talk about day trading, because then you can see in a short period of time all the different information that you're going to need to know in order to make decisions. What are you going to do? You're going to start trading on a daily chart where everybody says it's so safe? Really, it's so safe. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to have to set your stop, an ATR and a half, 2 ATRs out from an 80 pip ATR candle, daily candle? Is that what you're going to do? How many times can you lose that, even on a 1 lot, before you go, I'm out of money? Well, not very long. So there's a disconnect in the information you're being told is important to know, as opposed to the information that you really need to know to start trading. And then, after you get through that in the Fast Track course, which is about 2 weeks of work, you're in the trenches with a real, live, $1,000 account, trading by some basic principles of risk management, because that's the thing we want to do first. Get that out of the way. So then you can learn how to make money. God, these people that are talking about all this risk to reward analysis, and I'm going to set my top here, and I'm going to do that, they're full of shit. The problem is that the people that are teaching this stuff lost tremendous amounts of money learning. They took their accounts, you listen to them, they'll tell you, they took their accounts to the wood 4, 6, 8 times before they finally figured out what not to do and became successful. Well, I did the same thing, but I only had to do it once. And I stepped back from that loss. I funded my account, first real large account, with $45,000. And in 4 months, I had lost 40,000 of it. And I stepped back from that and I go, this isn't right. I've got a degree in physics, almost a minor in math. This is crazy. I did real estate for 40 years. What's the problem here? Well, the problem was when I stepped back from things, in 15 minutes, I discovered not only that I was solving the wrong problem, but I also saw what the problem was, and therefore I was able to decompose that problem into 3 smaller sub-problems, and I arranged those problems in sequential order so that I wouldn't have a matrix problem of analysis. You know, if you have 2 different ideas or 2 different objects, A and B, you can arrange those in 4 different permutations. I could have A by itself, I could have B by itself, I could focus on A and then B, or I could focus on B and then A. So to 2 principles or 2 objects or 2 indicators, you have 4 permutations. If you go out to 5 indicators, just 5 indicators, you have 325 different permutations. And that's the problem with the education that you're consuming, is you have all these people telling you different things that are important and different ways of managing that, and they've picked one way through the clutter, and it's not the right way, because there are many ways through the clutter that you can be successful, but you have to have a lot of experience in order to do that. So why would you start out in the clutter like these other guys do? Now, the fact that they're successful now means nothing that they've made $1 million if they can't teach you how to avoid the clutter. And most of them can't, because they're not educators. And yet you're going to pay them $500 or $5,000 or whatever it is, and they're not an educator? Would you go to get a college education from an unranked college where a bachelor's degree in math, for example, might cost you $60,000 or $80,000 over the 4-year period of time and take you 4 years? If the accreditation, where'd you go to school, Bob? Oh, I went, oh, really? Oh, your degree isn't worth shit, because you're not going to be able to help me in my business, so I'm not going to hire you. So be very careful about the information that you consume, because it may not be being given to you by someone that knows how to teach it. They may know how to do it, and they may have made $1 million, and they may ring the cash register every day, but if they can't teach you, then all you can do is watch their channel for entertainment, because that's all you're going to get out of it. My channel is designed to do the reality of Forex trading, not driving around a Lambo with your ball cap on backwards and the Lambo is rented and you don't really understand what you're doing. When you are looking at the reality of Forex trading, you have to look at it the same way about driving a car. It's simple and it's easy. So how can you look at the Forex market, this complex $6.7 trillion a day market that dwarfs all the other markets combined in the United States, stock markets combined, and has all these benefits? If you go to my website, longwoodcurrencytrading.com, to the currency trading page, there's 7 reasons there where I talk about the Forex market and why I've selected it over real estate and everything else that's out there. Go to that, read it, see if that doesn't make sense to you. I've identified why I want to trade the Forex market. If you can't talk to somebody and they can identify to you why they're trading the Forex market, other than they driving around a Lambo, and what more do you need not to know? Well, then you're like getting in a car with somebody trying to tell you to hit the brake when you're supposed to go forward. It boggles my mind to listen to this information that's being transmitted sometimes. There are some really good resources out there on the internet, but do you know how to differentiate them? Well, if you don't have the experience in something, then you wouldn't know whether somebody really understands the thing that they're doing, whether they're being truthful with you, and whether they're going to be able to teach you how to do that in a simple manner. You know, I've been criticized by people that write me, and we talk about the fast track course, and they go, "Oh, you can't teach it 6 weeks. You can't teach this stuff that fast. This stuff is so complicated." Really? Then you really don't understand the educational process. So no wonder you think it's going to be difficult. Learning to trade currencies is probably the simplest, easiest thing that you can do in order to replace your job income. Now, you're not going to replace your job income on $10,000. That's the reality of the Forex life. I don't give a shit who you're talking to out there. If they can take $10,000 and build that to $100,000, that's great. They've got 20 years experience. Williams is documented to have been able to do that. He's a commodity guy. And his daughter took a $10,000 account a couple of times and ran that to $100,000. But these are really, really, really experienced people using extraordinarily good risk management. Not some fool that just takes a trade and walks away from the desk and hopes for the best, because he doesn't care if he loses the $30,000 he's got at risk, or the $10,000 he's got at risk, because he's got another $300,000 or $400,000 behind that. And he'll go, "Oh well," and start again until he gets it right. The reality of Forex trading is it's not as hard as you would think that it is. If you've been trading for 6 months to a year in a live account with at least $1,000, send me an email. Maybe there's something that I could say to you to point you in the right direction at no charge. And I'm not trying to sell you a course. I don't sell courses. I don't sell consulting. People look at the value that I offer. They agree that I can bring to the table, and they ask if they could buy the program from me. That's the only way I want to do it. I don't want to work with people I have to drag across the finish line, people arguing and bitching and moaning. That's not the way that you make a right-hand turn in a car. I don't have any patience for that. I've been in martial arts for 57 years. I'm not going to have any patience with you if you act like an idiot. So let's remove that right up front. That's why I don't have a lot of views on my videos. That's why I don't have a lot of subscribers, because I'm not driving around in a Lambo with my ball cap on. I'm not 22 years old, made $1 million. I'm telling you, from somebody who's made $1 million multiple times in their life, that there is a process that you need to go through. That process can either be scrambled up and messed up, or it can be in order. And if once you understand the order that things need to be placed in, you don't have the permutation matrix issue that I just discussed. You just solve the problem and you go to the next sequential problem and you solve that. Then you hook those two things together. It's simple. What can you expect from your Forex trading? You can expect that you should be able to provide enough income such that you can replace your job income. Now the caveat, and what people aren't telling you, is that it's reasonable that in a reasonable amount of time you could develop an account large enough to be able to replace your job income. The problem with that is that you're living off that account, drawing that money for your income. What happens when you get it wrong and you lose a big portion of that account? And you will, because statistically, if you're an active trader within 300 trades, you're going to lose 6 times in a row. You can also win 6 times in a row, but you will lose 6 times in a row. And you could lose 13 times in a row. I've got the statistics that show that that's possible. regardless of that, if you're trading an X size account, that you're able to comfortably get X% against that account, and that provides you the job income. When you reduce the size of that account through these losses, these statistical losses, you won't have enough money to trade the number of lots you need to trade in order to provide that monthly income. Now what are you going to do? You're going to get involved in revenge trading or trying to make up for the losses, and you're going to get jammed up and you're going to lose even more money. That's just what happens. So I have some specific advice for the folks that take my course as to how to deal with it and how to manage that and how to be happy in the trading. So you're not happy in the trading, what good is it? You're supposed to be having fun. We're supposed to be having fun. The reality of currency trading is not grim. It's only grim if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing, man, it's a lot of fun. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.